Benny Gale won the toss, and the Tigers going left to right towards the main scoreboard. In the centre, the first bounce. Campbell applying the tackle on Rock. And umpire Greg Scroop comes in and will have to ball it up again. MCG has had plenty of football. 4 games over the reenactment weekend last week, and there'll be 3 this weekend. Here's Rock for North. His hand pass is knocked down. Campbell gets it going the Tigers' way. Broderick a kick under pressure to full forward. Gee, Wigney almost took the mark. Comes to the front of the pack. Hacked out of there by North, but they're not safe yet. Roberts charged straight at it, bowled over in a terrific clash with Rogers. And umpire Rich comes in and will ball it up. Boy, has this game started fierce.
Well, Matty Rogers there just crashing in. Very, very strong play. I'm a little bit surprised that Archer is lined up on Matthew Richardson. Just think he might be a bit too tall and even a bit quick. I thought Mighty Mick Martin might have got that job, but North Melbourne through Rock, come away from the half-back flank, kicks down towards Freeborn. David Burke, too tall. Paddles it along in front. Happy to see it over the line. David Burke missed a couple of weeks with the Tigers after an excursion to a nightclub. Back in favour. McKernan wins the tap at ground level. Rogers overruns it. Scott has the kick smothered by Tate. Gives it back to Campbell. Well beaten last week by Ramiro. A big game expected today. The kick's a wobbly one, and Roberts takes it at centre-half back.
No scorers yet. Floats the hand past to Scholl. And going past is Blakey. Here's kick to full forward. Too far for Crocker. And Turner takes the mark. Scott Turner has some big scalps on his belt. Goes short to centre-half back. Rogers charges away for the Tigers. Wobbly old left foot kick towards half-forward. Ball thumped out of the air by Laidley across the half-back line. Rock is there. Support from Roberts. Mark Roberts off the left. There's been some good smothers in this game. That was smothered by Campbell. Burke's there, number 32. Gets the ball across. Rogers has been prominent. Tape a good pass. And Gale takes the mark in between wing and half-forward. Richardson leads. The kick in that direction. Perfect. Well, bit of a juggle, but the mark was paid. Well, Richardson certainly has the height on Archer, and on that occasion had the pace once he had the initial break.
That's the great thing about Richardson, isn't he? Once he gets a yard break, he's going to turn it into 3 or 4 very quickly, and really the defender can't there. Archer, in that case, couldn't get there to put any pressure on. It was only a matter of whether Richardson could control the ball.
Armstrong on for Anderson after just 3 minutes. Richardson for the first score of the game. A goal! Well, he's the man to stop, Lee.
Well, he is. I think I agree with Kevin. I don't really know if Archer's a good matchup, but I mean, Dennis Prager knows his players better than us. Shouldn't really be that presumptuous. But I think with Richardson, you've either got to go with someone who's big or someone who can run with him, and I'm not quite sure whether Archer fits either of those categories.
Matthew Richardson playing his 50th game today. So the Tigers out of the centre square. Charles just thumps the ball down long. Martin's got the sit from behind. Ground level Rock. Played quite well against West Coast last week. One of their few good players, Richardson. Couldn't take it. Scholl. Been playing on the forward line. Looks like he's now in defence. Carey has got Callaway as his opponent. Callaway, the Tigers' leading tackler this year. Bond's got it. Centre wing position. He's kicked 12 goals for the Tigers. He's their #1 tagger. He kicks a high ball back for the big pack of players. Laidley feeds it out to Rock. He's had several possessions, finds McKernan. Goes wide. Carey's going to be the target. Just needs a kind bounce. Gets it. With good vision, he's got support. Freeborn centres the ball. Simpson. He's been paid the mark or the free kick.
I think it'd have to be the free kick. Don't think that was a mark. Probably should have been neither if it was all boiled down to it, shouldn't it?
He's played every game this year. He's kicked 7 goals for the season. Just 2 games last year in his debut year. So Simpson will be kicking from just inside 50. Gaspar on the mark. Starting to bend back. And there's a mark on the line to Crocker. He's an important player to North Melbourne, Darren Crocker. He's suffered a lot of injuries over the years, I should say.
And North started him basically one out in the forward 50, carries up the ground at sort of the true centre-half forward position. I don't know how you get that angle, really. He looked to me to mark it directly in front, didn't he?
Well, they've lined him up with the centre of the goals. Yeah. This is only his third game this year, and he's kicked a goal.
Well, good start to both sides. I think it's always important that when you get your first goal on the scoreboard, just to get that scoreboard ticking over, and both sides have achieved that. So they've broken the initial drought, and pretty easy conversion, even though he was put on a severe angle. When you're that close in, thought his way through it well and scored the goal.
A goal each after 6 minutes play. McKernan close to the centre circle. Charles with a longer run. Charles gets it going the Tigers' way, but Scholl for North. Round the corner towards half forward. Ball takes an awkward hop. Punched on beautifully. It goes to Bell. Hand pass to Scott. He's run down. Good tackle by Campbell. Campbell been prominent early, going better than he did last week. Up to tape. He's over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. Wayne Campbell already 3 touches. McKernan going with Charles. Campbell's kick smothered. Rock for North. Wide to the forward pocket and out of bounds.
Darren Crocker on screen, one of the 3 changes to the North Melbourne side today. McKernan, Crocker and Danilchenko coming into the side. Danilchenko lining up on the interchange bench. North Melbourne and Richmond. The bookies can't separate them, 5-4 on a piece. And a free kick's going to North Melbourne. And Corey McKernan in the ruck against Charles.
I mean, obviously, it's the umpire paid that Charles was pushing his body into McKernan and paid the shepherding interpretation. It just goes to show how careful ruckmen have to be in their body-to-body work at the ruck contest.
McKernan's booted 13 goals this year. They missed him against West Coast. He's off target. 1 point.
Paul Broderick's had an outstanding season in the Victorian squad for State of Origin duty in a couple of weeks. And he'll kick in to Turner, the full-back, who can't take the mark. A very slack performance by Turner, and the ball's out of bounds in the pocket.
It's almost a rarity in modern football for the full-back to kick in, isn't it? Every side now has got their designated kicker. That's just how important that first disposal after behind is.
Turner hardly got his heels off the ground. Palm comes down. A shot for goal is terrific, straight through the middle. Anthony Stevens.
And already we've seen the difficulty that Corey McKernan poses for opposition sides. Justin Charles has been a good mobile ruckman. The question will be, can he compete with McKernan in the ruck contest? McKernan drew the free kick to draw the first behind, and then it was really the ruck knockout, or that might have been Charles, in fact, hitting it backwards. So that Stevens, good goal.
And Rock with that quick kick out of the centre. North Melbourne once more into attack. Ferocious on the forward line. Crocker between the legs. Scholl. Gaspar did well. Got a hand to the ball. Scholl recovers. Carey trying to crash his way through. You saw the arms there of Callaway as the Tigers' leading tackler this year. Wrapped around Wayne Carey. His 4th year as captain of the Kangaroos. He's got a while ago to equal Wayne Schimmelbusch, captain the North Melbourne side for 9 seasons. Still inside the attacking 50. Burke over the top for the Tigers. A big fist away. Broderick's caught. Freeborn couldn't take control. Prescott off the ground. Naish traps it. It's caught. And will take the free kick.
And the whistle had clearly gone. The free kick paid, but bowled over in the middle was Matthew Rogers right on the cricket pitch area. Naish to take it from the centre circle. Inside half forward. Wigney outnumbered. Martin punches from behind. Miranda was sensational last week. Kicked 4 goals in a quarter. He goes for the goal square. Gale! Brendan Gale finding space very close to the goal square. Uncontested mark.
I think the luck's of fortune there. The big, scrappy, wobbly kick, and Gale just basically kept his eyes on the ball and was able to judge it better fairly. Got himself out of position, ended up being, in fact, an unopposed mark.
North lead by 7 points. Brendan Gale can reduce the margin to 1 if he can kick truly here. He's kicked 13 goals, 13 this year, so he hasn't been all that accurate. Narrow angle, and across the face of goal. Might nearly be no score. It's out of bounds on the full.
Said many times, I think, KB, when you've got that angle and you're a right foot of that right-hand goal post, worries you, because most people have a slight hook in their kicking action, and it's a very, if he's on the other side of the ground, it's a very simple shot, but from this side, that right-hand goal post really puts him off.
It's a good point, and 13 goals, 13, so there's only a 50% chance to see Wigney up, make that Charles up high. He's the informed ruckman of the competition. Didn't play football at all in 1994. Had a year out playing baseball, but he's been a star for the Tigers. Prescott pumps the ball back. Miranda. 5 goals last week. He's getting better every game.
I think we see that situation. Miranda was able to get a run and jump at the ball because his direct opponent, Laidley, was caught over the other side of the ground when the North Melbourne tried to kick the ball in, and that kick over, that turnover on the first kick or two after the kick-off after behind often finds a forward basically on his own.
Well, he's played every game for the Tigers this year. It's a wobbly old kick, but he's popped it through.
And there's a blue on after he's kicked the goal, and this is what happened last week, and he got a second kick. And if they're not careful, he might get it 2 weeks in a row.
Yes, and a good goal to Richmond, really. That's a very, very good game in this first 12 minutes. We see here Miranda, basically he was able, because he didn't have a direct opponent, he was able to stand off the pack and be able to take pretty much an unimpeded leap into the ball, and it was a good finish.
Shocking bounce in the middle. It went straight to the rover, Robert Scott, whose kick was intercepted by Gaspar. And now the Tigers on the rebound. From centre wing, Rogers. Wigney overruns. King slides the hand pass. Blakey out of defence. Straight up the centre of the ground. Scholl slipped to ground and Tate took the mark. He played on, took a couple of steps, and then Carey got him. Free kick to Carey. Takes it quickly inside the 50. Bell. Good mark by the little rover. Peter Bell has played every game this year for North Melbourne after just getting a couple last year for Fremantle in his first season in the AFL. And Tate thought he was going, then changed his mind, but it was too late. Now Bell for goal. And there's no bells ringing on that one. It's away to the right for a minor score. Now, Miranda, after he kicked the goal, was roughed up by the North players. Miranda last week got a second kick and kicked 2 goals without the ball going back to the centre. It almost happened to him 2 weeks in a row.
Scotty Turner of Richmond kicks the ball long. He's looking for Charles. Scott at the back of the pack. Tawney. Strong mark. Long penetrating kick inside 50. Wigney comes out. Couldn't trap it. Tried to take on the half volley. Martin, that was a throw. Blakey. North Melbourne defence under pressure. Simpson showed courage, went back with one hand. Does well to get it across to Anderson. Carey's the target. Callaway in front. And he's got a free kick. It's a great matchup this with Duncan Callaway. He's given away height and size to Wayne Carey.
He's a very good player, but with the strength in the genuine body-to-body contest, Carey should have the advantage on those kind of situations.
Campbell's a high flyer, rocked the crummer. Once more, pump back, and here's McKernan. This two-pronged attack with North Melbourne is very, very dangerous.
It's just we see here McKernan, it's the mobility that he's got. Charles is a mobile ruckman, but even he can't run with McKernan when it comes to that 20-30 metre movement to position as the ball comes into the forward 50. It's an enormous strength that North Melbourne have got.
And he pops it through. Well, he was favourite for the Brownlow medal before being rubbed out for 1 week. And he also lost the Norwich Rising Star of the year because he was suspended, but he's an enormous talent.
Well, he is. As usual, McKernan is playing. He's basically alternating with Roberts out of the forward line. Sometimes McKernan will push forward quickly. Sometimes Roberts, in fact, will stay in the forward line, and they'll alternate a little bit. And really, I suppose it's Tawney and Rogers who, in fact, are alternating on the opponents. It's a difficult situation for Richmond.
McKernan against Charles. A golfer against a baseballer. The baseballer wins, but it goes to the opposition. Here's Charles again. Well played. Hurrying the kick inside the 50. It bounces through Archer. It finishes up going the Tigers' way. Richardson a hand pass to Naish. Kick by Naish, scores! Well, did we promise you something for this game? I think it's delivering. 2 points the difference.
Well, one of the points of Matthew Richardson's game that I'm not so keen on is he's always dropping back, as you saw him on the right of screen there. That time, because the ball got through the half a dozen players in front of him, he was able to take possession and feed the hand pass onto Naish. I still think the majority of occasions the player playing in front in the forward line will usually get rewarded.
Charles wins the tap. Daffy tried to crash his way through. Stevens on top of the ball. That goal to Naish will certainly help his confidence. He's been a bit down this year. North Melbourne 3-2-20 lead the Tigers 3 straight goals, 18. Roberts, edge of the centre square. Callaway playing in front. Quick to feed it off to Gaspar. Subject of an AFL inquiry into how he was drafted by the Tigers to Rogers. Beautiful kick down here where Richardson takes a sliding slips catch. Well, even at this early stage, Lee, Glenn Archer on Richardson doesn't look to be successful, and he's also got a 50-metre penalty.
Well, I think Archer's aggression has to be a tool that he uses, I think, against Richardson, but there's not much point giving away a 50-metre penalty and giving Richardson a shot for goal, which from a kick that would have been 100 metres from goal.
A pretty short 50-metre penalty, and you can see Archer having an altercation there with another Tiger player. So Richardson on 50 has already booted one. This is off target. Stevens takes the ball over the line.
Lee, would it be Archer's aggression that would be the factor that Pagan's gone for in his matchup on Richardson?
Well, possibly. You've got to find a player's strength, and I think Archer is an aggressive player, and just maybe you can't match Richardson physically for height and speed. You might as well try and at least put the pressure on him in a psychological sense, should we say?
I'm sure a few players who've played on Glenn Archer have heard him coming over the years. Ball up, close to goal for the Tigers. Rock for North Melbourne. Fairly. And he's kicked well judged towards the boundary line. And it's out of bounds, about 60 metres around from goal. A couple of youngsters there, Burke and Freeborn. David Burke, son of the great Francis Burke. Fairley and Gale. Gale palms down. Tough one for Daffy. Kicked into the pack. Prescott. He's been good, Rogers, so far, but he was going nowhere on that occasion, and this will be a baller.
Matthew Rogers has been a very good player since coming across from South Adelaide. His 50th game today. Matthew Richardson also playing his 50th for the Tigers. Rock, he's had 7 possessions in this opening term. He's been dispossessed. Trying to crash his way through is John Blakey. Tiger fans wanted a free kick. They've got a ball up.
Now that was a good interpretation. I think earlier in the season he might have been pinged. I reckon the umpires have definitely changed their opinion.
Well, you must give the players some opportunity to dispose of the ball. Anderson, quick kick from half back. Carey takes it out of the air. Great play, gets it across the bell. Should kick a goal, takes a bounce. He's kicked it. If it's not a goal, he'll get another kick.
I think he missed the goal,
He must have missed it.
It's the lunge from the Richmond player. Gave Bell a shove in the back basically after he kicked the ball, or as he kicked the ball.
So he'll take the free kick, Peter Bell. We see Charles there. It was after he kicked it too. So in fact, it wasn't necessary.
Hell of a chase by Charles.
So Peter Bell has played every game this year since coming across from the Dockers, and he's kicked it this time.
Well, I suppose after a big man, about 6'6", he ran that far, he thought he'd make it count, but unfortunately, gave him a goal.
A fair leap made, really, and the quick hand pass, really great athleticism to get hold of the ball in his hands in the first place by Carey, but then the quick thinking to flip the ball on. Really great players make the goals out of those half situations, as Carey did then.
Brilliant first term, and still 8 minutes to go. 4 goals to 3. North go forward. Heavy clash of bodies. Burke crunched in there, and Rock at the bottom of the pack. And he was between a rock and a hard place on that occasion.
He's had a terrific first term, Anthony Rock.
5 kicks, 2 handballs. Ball up on the 50. McKernan wins for North. Campbell for Richmond. Back towards the centre. Mark to Blakey. Taking it over Daffy. Kick by Blakey out wide for Roberts. Gasper goes to ground, but so does Roberts. Gasper first to recover. Caught by Simpson. Held when not in possession. Gasper the free kick.
This was a silly free kick given away by Simpson. No need for that. He could have sweated on Gaspar. So the Tiger defender kicks back, where Scholl takes the mark.
Burke came off second best in that clash with Rock, and Burke has come off, replaced by Michael Gale.
So McKernan tries to take a one-hander. Bell at ground level. Gaspar, Simpson over the top of the ball, wants the free kick. There'll be a ball up on 40.
Now, who do you reckon would get hurt out of that? Number 32.
Tough little player, Anthony Rock.
Campbell kicks back towards the wing. Archer in front of Richardson. Thumps the ball back. Carey's going to be a high flyer. Just couldn't quite take it. Kicked off the ground by Crocker. So Crocker has kicked a goal. We see young David Burke being worked on the boundary line as Turner gets ready to bring the ball back.
You've known him since he came to the football as a toddler, haven't you?
Yes. Used to play in the creche with my kids.
Turner straight up the ground looking for Charles. Roberts a good punch down to the front to Rock. Kick by Rock. Carey again caught behind. Crumbs to Crocker by the whistle. Richmond's free kick. And Kellaway so far is taking the points against Carey. And Carey has pushed Turner down. Thought there might have been a 50-metre penalty, but the umpire doesn't pay it. Quickly out to Prescott. Kick by Prescott over centre wing. Bond front position. Good punch, Laidley. Daffy, quiet so far. Kick inside the 50. It bounces past Archer, but he does well. Richardson still a chance. Concedes some ground. About 25 metres, actually, and a North Melbourne ball. Stevens.
Well, I can't understand, Lee, why Turner wasn't, or Richmond weren't given a 50-metre penalty.
Well, certainly from where we sat, you would have thought that, wouldn't you? Looked like a shove in the chest and nothing much in it, but one of those things that usually would draw a 50.
McKernan kicks the ball back. Gaspar elects to go the punch, not the mark. Miranda kicks back towards centre half forward. Gale got a bounce, feeds it back out to Daffy. Good vision to Rogers inside 50. Snap into the goal square. It's going to bounce over their heads. He's kicked the goal.
Well, I think Daffy, I think he was on. We didn't quite see him, his reactions to get the ball, but then the super sharp reflexes to basically take possession, see Rogers out on the owner, and he's clear, and a quick, accurate hand pass, and Rogers was able to bounce the ball through. This is a really very good game.
Still 5 minutes left. 4 goals apiece in the first quarter, and a 3-point lead to North Melbourne. From the centre bounce, hurried kick by Simpson, dived by Gale just on the ground. Hand pass Rock. Campbell, he's wrapped up and will take a free kick. Wayne Campbell. He was the pre-post favourite for the Brownlow last year, won a lot of media awards, did no good on the night of the medal. It comes to Charles at half forward, steers the pass, misses Wigney. That is, it missed Wigney. Mrs. Wigney isn't out there. Archer. Kicked by Archer to the centre of the ground. McKernan front position. Terrific mark. Magnificent hands, Corey McKernan. Gee, they missed him in Perth last week.
Gets it quickly onto Rock. They want to get the ball quickly into their forward line. Carey was in front. Turner over the back. Tawney does well. Just weaves his way past opponents. Short kick. Finds Broderick. Now loose player wide in Tape. And he'll settle things down. Been an outstanding first quarter by both sides. Looking for Gale. Nearly took a one-hander. Daffy. Dangerous at the foot of the pack. Around the boundary line, Richardson can't keep it in.
Capuano's come onto the ground, replaced Bell, and it changes the setup in the forward line for North and gives, I would think Capuano will have a conventional ruck role and McKernan will play permanent forward just for this part of the game.
North Melbourne by 3 points, 27 plays 24. And a ball up on centre wing. Justin Charles just flips the ball back. 61 AFL games now. Played 36 of those games for Footscray. Stevens heads for the boundary line and he's been pinged. Wayne Campbell, the best and fairest for the Tigers last year. Twice he's been runner-up in the award, All-Australian. Had a great season. Probably not in the same form this year. Laidley to Roberts. Thumps the ball back. Tate was in front. Knocked away by Danilchenko, taken by Scott.
Robert Scott on the run. Rogers took him off his path, had to go wide. Crocker late on the scene. Gee, how'd he take that mark?
David Copperfield.
It was absolute daylight robbery, and now he's found Scholl 30 metres from goal. Well, Darren Crocker, whose skills have been badly missed by North over the years, in his 12th season has managed just 137 games. Well, that's what they've been missing for so long. And now Craig Scholl for goal. No. His first score today, he kicked 11-4 coming in. And here's Crocker. He came from behind the man in front, who was Tawney, and how Tawney didn't get a touch, I'm not sure.
They're both going for the ball okay, but Crocker just was able to get there first.
Campbell brings the ball out of defence. It's a high ball, but the free kick's going to North Melbourne. Capuano. 4-4-28 North Melbourne. The Tigers 4 straight goals, 24. Campbell starting to pick up some possessions, goes short, good vision, finds Rogers. He's off. Playing his 50th game, puts it in front to Richardson, also playing his 50th game today. He's kicked 31 goals for the season, Matthew Richardson. Good play to Gale. Michael Gale started on the interchange bench. Came on to replace David Burke. Wigney makes a lead. It's been ignored. So he just kicks to the front of the square. A good strong mark to North Melbourne's Ian Fairley.
Ian Fairley led the team out today, playing his 201st, but he celebrated 200 over across the Nullarbor last weekend. Archer has picked up the dangerous Richardson. Kick by Archer, short of centre wing. Danilchenko has it spoiled by Tape, comes to Anderson. He's robbed of it. Gale on all fours. Tape again, feeds the hand pass to Naish. A centering kick is good. Gale. Right in front, 35 metres out.
It was interesting just prior to that, to talk about a running defence. Both Richmond's 2 GU defenders, Gasper and Turner, were both involved in marking contests in Richmond's forward line just before that flurry of play. But anyway, the running defence, the modern game, eh?
Well, he's had 1 shot for goal today, which sailed out of bounds. Here he is right in front. This time he goes. And the Tigers in front. Richmond 5 goals, North 4-4.
They always say good kicking's good football, and that's exactly what's happened with Richmond at the moment. They've had 5 shots for goal, basically, and kicked the 5 goals, although I suppose Benny kicked one out of bounds. We should have counted that, but North haven't been quite as accurate. But he's taken the 2 or 3 marks, Gale, and whenever his hands are on, he looks like he's judging the ball. He's a dangerous player.
Also acting captain today for the Tigers, Benny Gale, his 14th goal for the season. Blakey couldn't handle it. Kick off the ground, goes to Scott. Just kicks the ball back inside 50. McKernan was there as the siren sounds to end a terrific first quarter of football at the MCG. And Richmond at quarter time, 5 goals, 30, leading North Melbourne 4-4, 28.
Start of the second term here at the MCG with the Tigers leading by 2 points. Campbell had 10 possessions in the first quarter, and there's Rock who had 10. That's now number 11 for the match. Charles, a little hand pass out. Rock over the ball, couldn't get another touch there. Miranda did well to go in and get it. It's tough and tight, and the umpire will ball it up. Bond there going to ground. He had just 1 kick in the first quarter. He kicked 3 goals last week against Footscray, and 2 of them were goals of the week.
So Capuano up high. The free kick has been given away to Justin Charles. Richardson's going to be his target. He's got Archer on him. Archer did well to use his body to get in front and win the crumb. Just kick hurriedly back towards Corey McKernan. The high flies Danilchenko. Just trying to really force his way into this North Melbourne side on a regular basis. He's usually a magnificent kick, so he's just outside 50. It's going to be right in the square. Carey's a high flyer. Callaway happy to just force the ball through for a behind.
An interesting day for Justin Charles. It looks like North are going to double team him in the ruck. Capuano at times and McKernan other times. It's tough when you've got a ruck all day against 2 reasonable quality opponents alternating on you.
Well, he can get some support if they want to throw Brendan Gale into the ruck for a short period of time. As we see, Callaway kicks the ball back. Capuano got his hands to the ball towards Anderson. Quick hands, only finds Tate. Still on the boundary line. Picked up by Campbell as he stepped over. He has, so a boundary throw-in.
Well, despite a 9-goal first quarter, a bit of a scoring romp, some of the smothering in the game's been magnificent. Here's Capuano, 16 against number 15, Charles. Down to Rock. Umpire will ball it up again. For North in the first quarter, Rock 10 possessions, Scholl 7, and for Richmond, Campbell had 10. And Bond, who's normally a good sticker, has let Rock get away from him at the start of the game. Capuano down to Stevens. Left foot kick to centre half forward. Interference to Carey by Callaway. No whistle. Carey plays it on. Nearly loses his strides to Scholl, who just shrugs the tackle of Prescott. Bounces, approaches goal. Craig Scholl bends it back. Not enough. A behind. Second behind Craig Scholl.
It's been wasteful. 4 goals, 6 to 5 goals straight. It's North dominating the game fairly much, but not on the scoreboard.
Turner, magnificent kick. Put Charles under a lot of pressure. It was 2 against 1. Danilchenko's caught. Pretended he was trying to punch the ball away. Rogers pounced on it. Kicks down, the high flyer down there is Richardson. Miranda, great pickup. Is in top form. Slips at the critical moment. Fairly. Not taken by Scott. In fact, it's been paid. So the ex-Cat kicks it up where we see chipping in is Gaspar. It's a wobbly old kick. The bounce could favour Laidley. Good vision. Centres it to Capuano. Can go over the top to King. Loves the run with the ball. Balks Prescott. Kicks out wide looking for Bell. Great mark by the little fellow.
Just off the bench replacing Anderson.
So he's kicked 1 goal, Peter Bell. A couple of goals with the Dockers last year. Kerry pushing and shoving. Callaway did well. Picked up by Turner to Charles. The Tigers strong in defence.
Whoops. Charles didn't know where to go and he has to concede a point.
wasn't that a fantastic contest by Callaway then? How often have we seen Wayne Carey have body control over his direct opponent, but Callaway just was able to get that arm in front and affect the spoil. It was an excellent piece of patient and good technique defensive spoil.
North by a point. They've had 3 behinds in this quarter, 2 of them rushed. A kick to the 50, that's all. It's still there, Broderick. Good hand pass. Tawney, he's caught in a good tackle by Crocker. Great to see forwards laying tackles like that. Crumbs come out, goes to Rock. A high ball, Carey outnumbered and out-positioned, and Callaway, his opponent, takes the mark. Callaway, good assistance then from Turner. Over half-back with the kick. Gasper up the ground. Broderick, half-back to half-forward. Richardson. Too tall for Glenn Archer. North 31, Richmond 30. Oh, poor disposal. Straight to the opposition, and David King has it. Kick by King. North with a slight breeze in the second term. Richardson got back there. Well done, Matty Richardson. The hand pass, like the kick, was astray. Tawney, he'll take a free kick for 1 round the neck against McKernan.
So he played his first game for the Tigers last year, just 6 games in his debut year. Kicks down towards Miranda, has the ball punched away. Blakey bounced off. Gives it across to Danilchenko, the old 1-2 back, runs through the centre of the ground. Up in front is Crocker. Turner wants the free kick. It's a ball up just inside 50. North Melbourne by a point, 4-7-31. Richmond 5 straight goals, 30. McKernan versus Charles. Campbell, quick kick. Still a defensive 50. Prescott has got a free kick. Former captain of the Tigers under-19s. He's had a lot of trouble with injuries early in his career.
Did you get him there?
I was captain of the under-19s when I was there, a local boy from Glen Waverley. It's a wobbly old kick taken by Scott, so here's a chance for the Kangaroos through Capuano.
To full forward, Crocker charges, but the man in front courageously, Tawney, drags down an excellent mark. Jason Tawney. The troops were coming at him then. To Michael Gale. To half-back flank, to his brother. Brendan Gale takes the mark. Kick by Gale over centre wing. Richardson from behind, but Archer, good hands in front. Some interesting matchups, some mismatches by the looks. But Archer's kick to half forward, punch by Turner. Tawney crashes through. Carey hasn't taken a mark and has had just 1 kick so far. Chance for Crocker, he bounces it through. Darren Crocker gets his 2nd goal, so he's the first multiple goals kicker in the game, and North by 7 points.
I think a couple of critical. I think Scott's done well in this first 6 minutes of the second quarter on Campbell. It was a good mark. He set up the initial thrust forward. It was really just a lot of blokes hard at the ball. Eventually it's come through and Crocker was able to finish. North playing well, but they've got to get the goals on the board.
North Melbourne by 7 points. Campbell for Richmond. Down towards Miranda. Laidley, did he manhandle him? Miranda fighting hard on the ground. Five goals last week by Mark Miranda. He's kicked a goal today. He's been the Tigers' most improved player this year. Gale against Capuano. Danilchenko. Wild hand pass, finds his target in Simpson. Playing in front was Tawney. Should be rewarded, and he is, to Prescott. Richardson's the target. Archer from behind, punches at the front of the pack. Naish with great hands to Richardson. The ball trickles over some 25 metres around from the Richmond's goal.
Looks like a midget Archer, doesn't he? Richardson's 195 centimetres and Archer's 182. It's a very big height difference.
Richardson, 4 marks, 6 kicks, but it's not translating on the scoreboard, just 1 goal. Out of defence, a high one by Scott. Punch forward by Prescott. Stevens bowled over. 2 number 10s clashed there. Daffy got him. The crumbs come to Blakey. It was an advantage free kick. Blakey to half forward. Oh, McKernan. In the absence of Carey, McKernan really good there. Kick by McKernan. Crocker. Oh. Good hands. I've mentioned the skill of this bloke and how North Melbourne would have loved to have had more service from this bloke over more than a decade.
Yes, it was good. It was a fantastic mark by McKernan. He got the same height thing. Gasp was a bit taller than Archer down the other end, but McKernan's still got a fair few centimetres on him, and a good kick out in front, but really Crocker had to make the kick a good one, which he did.
Crocker for his 3rd goal. And a bit of a break for North. Biggest lead in the game, and they've had 13 scoring shots to 5.
It's interesting you mentioned down the other end that Matty Richardson's had a little bit of the ball. He's had 8 possessions, but he's been forced up the field, and that's exactly where North Melbourne want Richardson. They don't want him in the goal-scaring area, and as long as he could get 20 possessions up on the wing, I don't think it'd be an enormous problem. But North, really, they're playing well, and now they're starting to get it onto the scoreboard as well.
Darren Crocker playing his 3rd game for the year. Spoot at 3. Simpson traps it for North Melbourne. Rogers as well. Had good purchase on it. So Crocker came into the side along with McKernan, who's also been a star today, and Danilchenko from the side, beaten by West Coast. Bell couldn't trap it. Scholl. Quick kick. There's a great snap. He's kicked a miracle goal.
Well, they've started to sneak clear now, North Melbourne, haven't they? Really, I think there's a situation there where Scholl couldn't quite get away from the tackler, but probably as he's kicked the ball, the tackler's almost swung him back and swung the ball back with him, and the floating kick has gone through.
Middle, Stevens for North Melbourne towards the 50. It's all North at the moment, overrun by Danilchenko, but he gets it to Scott, who concedes some ground. It sits for Charles, fires out the hand pass, intercepted by Stevens again, across the ground towards the outer wing. North have kicked 3 goals in 4 minutes. Miranda trying to bring the Tigers back into it. They haven't scored in this quarter. Kick by Miranda, Richardson underneath it. Comes back to him. He got one over the eyebrows. And North Melbourne clear out of defence through King. A dive by Danilchenko and a mark at the centre of the ground. To Rock, who's been sensational. McKernan, palms to the front. Scholl might kick another one. Oh, it's the post. 2 great kicks by Craig Scholl.
One thing about North Melbourne, when they come forward, you know they're going to kick the ball long into that forward 50-metre area, and I know you've forgot McKernan and Carey. I suppose it's pretty good tactics, but it's a very simple plan. Bomb it in there as quick as you can and give the players the chance.
And Turner kicks the ball as far as he can away from goals, Lee.
Right, mate.
And Robert slips over, taken by Charles. Kicks it straight over the line on the full. It's good tactics, Lee, if you've got guys who can take the big grabs down there or are not outmarked.
Well, that's why McKernan, I mean, we know he can play in the ruck and he does that, but just now he's just playing as a conventional key forward on Gasper, and he just looks so dangerous in those one-on-one contests for a long, high ball.
Danilchenko pops the ball up to Scholl. Now they're going to bring the ball back. Now he gets the all clear. Next to go short to Rock. 14 possessions to Rock, caught. Couldn't get around Miranda. Puts Danilchenko under pressure. He's got support from Roberts. So he kicks it back to 50. Carey's a high flyer. Callaway from behind goes the punch. Rock at ground level, pounced on it. Trying to crash his way through is King Carey. Bowled over. Gaspar's on hands and knees. Tigers defence now under fierce pressure. Stevens drags Broderick to the ground. Fantastic tackling in the game.
The value of your forwards tackling, and North Melbourne have been doing that, and they haven't allowed Richmond to get easily out of their forward area.
We're at the 14-minute mark of the second term, and the Tigers haven't scored in this quarter. Broderick, a raking kick to the centre of the ground. How come left-footers can kick like that off the left? Daffy overruns. It's still up for grabs in the middle. King for North. To the 50 and wide. Danilchenko with Michael Gale. Danilchenko on fingertips, controls it from the boundary line. McKernan in the goal square, but Turner got a fist to it and rushed it behind. Well, they've been under pressure this quarter, the Tigers, and they've been forced to rush 3 of the behinds that North have got in this term. North 7-9 to 5 goals.
Turner kicks the ball straight down the centre of the ground. This is great tactics. He finds Rogers. So from defence into attack to Richardson. Can he take it on the second grab? Archer does well. Feeds it off to King. So now North Melbourne, can they set up the loose man? Roberts can't get there in time.
And we've got to say, Keeper, we both wondered whether Archer was the right opponent for Matthew Richardson. All the points to Dennis Pagan, because he really has done as good a job, I think, at this point as you can expect.
Matthew Richardson's kicked 1 goal. He's had 6 kicks, 4 marks and 2 handballs. As we see Naish with Ian Fairley for the ball up. Archer himself's had 5 kicks, 3 marks and a handball. So it's been a great contest. Fairley, quick kick from the half-back line. Capuano was up, couldn't take it. Charles can't get around Danilchenko. Fantastic tackle, holding the ball. So umpire Rich is going to bring the ball back and not pay advantage.
Jason Danilchenko struggled for chances. Last score for the Tigers, 30-minute mark first quarter. It's now the 16-minute mark second quarter. And this man, Scholl, has been a good forward in this term. Long kick by Scholl to full forward. Crocker's been excellent. Turner punches this time. Down to Charles. Dishes out to Tawney. Wide kick for Michael Gale. Half volley, a fumble, out.
Well, Dipper said at quarter time that Dennis Pagan was upset with players not knowing where their man were. But I tell you what, they've really started to pick them up now.
Could be Robert Wall's catch cry right now. Charles in front of Capuano. Capuano reverses the situation, but knocks it straight to a Richmond player. Up to centre wing. Gale punches. Here's Bond, has been strangely quiet. Fairley charges straight through. Keeps the ball in. Kick to half forward. Danilchenko again. Inside the 50. McKernan gives Gasper the slip and takes a great mark. Corey McKernan, 6 marks.
He just set himself, didn't he? Got clear of the body contact. Jump when you jump, and when you can leap when you're that tall in the first place, and you're allowed to jump at the mark as McKernan was then. It's a good effort.
McKernan from 50 metres. Away to the right and a behind. 1 goal 2 for Corey McKernan. Suspended last week. That'll ruin his Brownlow chances, but on the night, after about 6 rounds, he'll have about 4 best on grounds.
So Campbell short to Michael Gale. To Broderick. Drops it in short to Charles. Scott. They're chasing hard North Melbourne. King from behind. Naish appealing for a free kick against Archer. And a ball up. So Archer with a big job playing on Matthew Richardson. Roberts. It's been punched forward by Naish. Blakey. Been handy in defence to Laidley. To King. Will go short. And finds Capuano. So North Melbourne with the runners. Up towards Armstrong. Spent some time on the interchange bench. And Rogers kicks the ball and it ricochets back over the line for a boundary throw-in. So Wayne Campbell has been moved to full forward. It's an interesting tactic because Robert Scott is playing at full back.
It's more the point, isn't it? He's a goal kicker, Campbell, and Scott's not suited to that position, but the ball has to get down there. That's Richmond's problem.
Roberts to Bell. A fly by Tawney. And he does well to trap the ball in there. And force a ball up and draws applause from the Richmond fans. Jason Tawney, number 29.
kind of tactic Dennis Pagan usually does to the opposition, putting an unusual full forward, and therefore his opponent becomes an unusual full back.
Gale and Roberts down to Tawney, and the ball back out of play. Funk has just come on the ground for Richmond and gone to the forward line, replacing Wigney, who hadn't had a touch in a quarter and a half while he was out there. Brendan Gale giving signals to his smaller men, but he didn't get his hand to the ball. Capuano beat him down to Armstrong. A high ball close to the boundary line. Turner punches straight to North. Rock, of all people, short pass to Roberts. And this should be a North Melbourne goal. Well, look at that. Down to Rock, and he's had 16 possessions, Anthony Rock.
How often you try and tell players to get to the correct crumbing position? That's directly in front of the marking contest, and even though it was an effective spoil by Turner, it basically went straight down Rock's throat in the correct position and really thought it out well to make it a fairly simple shot now for Roberts.
And Rock, from Richmond's point of view, the worst of all people to get it. Now Roberts, 30 metres out, kicks the goal. And in this quarter, North have had 10 scoring shots, 4 goals, 6 to nothing.
It's 18 scoring shots to 5. I mean, it's a reasonable margin, what, to 28 points, isn't it? My mathematics serves me correctly, but many more scoring shots. And Gale's in the ruck, Charles to forward line. Richmond will start to throw it round.
So Armstrong being dispossessed, taken away by Broderick. So here's a chance for the Tigers. Prescott from outside 50. It's a long bomb. Through for 1 point.
Well, at least it won't be a scoreless quarter.
Tigers' first score for the quarter, and it's come at the 21-minute mark of this second term. King kicks the ball to space. Capuano is beaten by Gale. Gives it back to Richardson. Just feigns the hand pass. It's going to take him on. Handballs over the top here to... That's Funk. Runs in off the interchange bench. And he's put it across the face of goals for 1 point. So young Funk has played 3 games, if we include today. It's one of the early 1994 draft selections for the Tigers. And they've got a pretty big opinion of him.
Laidley out of defence for North. To the centre of the ground. Richardson going in search of the ball. Doesn't get it. Shoulder hand pass to Bell. Slides one across to Stevens. He's caught from behind. Great tackle by Broderick. Blakey over the ball. Front edge of the centre square for the Tigers. And the umpire will ball it up.
Well, we've certainly got a new tackling rule now than we had 2 weeks ago, haven't we? I'm not so sure if it's a bad thing, but it's certainly different than what it was for the first month of the year. They give the player plenty of time again. Pretty much same as last year, I would say.
Yeah, and if the ball spills out, it's just play on. Keep the ball in motion. Here's Paul Broderick, left foot specialist, to the goal square. Campbell wrestling. Miranda leaping. The umpire will ball it up. He had nowhere to go, Miranda. And there's a North player in the background hurt. Dean Laidley doesn't look too good.
Laidley was a player that had the big swing of the left arm to spoil, but I'm not exactly sure what he's done to himself. Maybe winded, if I can judge that grimace correctly.
That's young Ross Funk going off, who's just kicked that last behind for the Tigers.
Well, that's bad news for him. And Laidley with a round arm. And you'd reckon Miranda would get hurt out of that, but Laidley's come up hurt. Ben Harrison comes on for the Tigers. North clear. Carey back in defence. Clean ball by that one. Tate concedes some ground. Chance for Gasper to set up. Miranda pushed out. Man at the back. Free kick, Miranda.
Yes, I think that was a situation where Bell was concerned with his lack of height. Tried to push the body in, but probably just a little bit too aggressively from the back position, and probably a correct free kick.
Tigers down by 26 points, desperately needing this goal. We're at the 24-minute mark of the second quarter, and they haven't kicked a goal for the term. Miranda gets his second. Back to 20 points.
Well, to say Richmond needed, that's an understatement. I mean, really, North have dominated the quarter, but a little bit of inaccuracy has enabled Richmond to be in the game on the scoreboard, and it's not a big margin, a 20-point margin to North Melbourne, so very important last bit of this quarter for Richmond to try and drain the ground a bit more.
Armstrong's caught high from the centre bounce. Be a ball up. Let's go down to the boundary line to Big Dip up.
Yes, Ross Funker's twisted his ankle. They're just retaping it, and we should see him back on the ground shortly. So.
Thanks, Dip. Daffy, quick kick out of the centre square. Archer kicked it off the ground. Once more, ball up, still inside the centre square.
They have quick kicking practice at Richmond. I've ever seen Daffy and Campbell. Gee, they're quick to get the ball on their boot in that pressure situation in the middle of the pack.
Daffy just 4 touches and Bond just 1.
Gale took it out of the air, just couldn't quite get his boot to the ball. So with just a minute to go in this second quarter, North 8-10-58. They lead by 20 points. Richmond 6-2-38. Gale against Capuano. Daffy, fresh air shot. Broderick tried to force his way through, kicked off the ground by Mick Martin. Being marked by Scholl. De King loves to run. The pride of Port Melbourne thumps it back to 50. McKernan's taken the grab, not paid. Tawney trying to weave his way out of trouble. Gaspar, bit slow but gets it off to Bond. Drives it long. Miranda's the target. Laidley from behind gets his fist to the ball. Naish at ground level. Capuano tries to trap it for North Melbourne. Does well.
Out towards the boundary line. Fairley. And the ball over the white line for a throw-in up towards centre wing. In the last few seconds of the first half. Ross Funk getting treatment to that ankle. Capuano front position, clean possession. To Rock again. What a half of football he's played. Crocker not quite. And there's the siren for half-time. Second quarter dominated by North Melbourne, but Richmond did kick the last goal. But look at that, 18 scoring shots to 8. So the lead could be a lot bigger. 8-10-58 to 6-2-38.
Significantly, Matthew Richardson has gone to full forward, and I think Richmond need Richardson to get along amongst the goals.
Bounce to start the second half here at the MCG. McKernan up early and high and gets it going North's way. Tigers have the breeze in this third term and they need to come back. Kellaway out of defence. Up short of half forward. A punch was disciplined by Martin. Past the centre circle. Roberts to Rock. Bit too slick for him. Roberts again. Swamped. Eventually the ball wrestled free by Bond, but the umpire comes in and is going to have to ball it up. 30 seconds into the second half and a 20-point lead to North Melbourne. Charles wins the hit out. Down it goes to the front of the pack. Inside the 50. Mick Martin up the ground a bit, takes the mark.
So Mighty Mick gives it across here to Laidley. Finds Roberts inside that centre square. Long raking kick. McKernan's the target. He's been fantastic today. Just too strong in the air. Outside 50. Big bomb. Carey's one of the high flyers in the pack. Punched away. Danilchenko feeds it off. Freeborn. It's off target. 1 point. Glenn Freeborn, 9 games last year in his debut season. Played in 3 finals for North Melbourne. Kellaway's got the job on Wayne Carey. The North captain hasn't kicked the goal yet. He's caught. Great tackling. North's tackling the first half was superb. Rock has been a star. He's caught. Bond over the top. And he puts it over, and North Melbourne fans love it because he's been pinned.
It's fantastic pressure, wasn't it, by North Melbourne to make sure Richmond couldn't get out of that part of the ground.
Anthony Stevens. Looks like he's hurt his thumb there. So Anthony Stevens, very tight angle. It's on his preferred side. Just a minor score.
Yeah, Chris Bond in trouble there. Strange, so hot one week and so cold this week. And go back to the incident, and here it is. He's after the ball there. And Stevens might have come across him and given him that thumb injury. Tigers worked the ball in short, was dangerous, but Campbell takes the mark. Behind centre half back, well behind. Sweeps the hand pass out to Turner, still almost in the back pocket. Kick by Scott Turner, beautiful delivery to Burke. See, Funk is back on the ground. He was injured in the second quarter with an ankle. Kicked by Burke. Richardson, oh, once he got his hands to it, should have taken it. Archer ran it out. Well, about the same spot as Ablett last night, but Ablett, I thought, kept it in last night, contrary to many people's thoughts, but Archer definitely took it over then.
Archer's had the big job playing on Matthew Richardson. He's kicked 1 goal. Richardson in the first quarter. Gale throws out the back, taken by Fairley. Wobbles the kick back. Carey couldn't take it on the third grab. Callaway's been superb. Cross to Rogers. Tigers into attack. Fairley in front. Was he manhandled? Not paid. See Ian Fairley there asking the question.
KB Carey still hasn't taken a mark.
Ian Fairley playing his 201st game today for North Melbourne. The oldest player on the North Melbourne list. John Blakey's the most experienced in terms of games. Daffy. Martin. King on the ground. So ball up. There's a bit of aggro in this game, a bit of feeling. North Melbourne 4th, 5-2 coming into this game. Richmond 6th, 4-3. Gale. North Melbourne just punched the ball back over the line for a boundary throw-in.
The whole game plan of North Melbourne puts a lot of pressure on Ian Fairley to be competent in that ruck work in the defensive part of the ground. I mean, McKernan's in the ruck at the moment, but he slips into half forward. So it's here where Fairley must be able to make sure that a good ruckman like Benny Gale can't sort of dominate that kind of contest.
Gale wins. Funk over the ball, lays it like an egg. Through goes Naish. Umpire will ball it up.
You only need to get a good ruck set up, don't you, KB? And Gale, he gets it to a Richmond player by just being a bit better in the ruck contest, and you've got an easy goal for Richmond. So it's a big job for Fairley to make sure that doesn't happen.
Richmond need a goal out of this. Gale doing well. It's going towards the boundary line, though. Daffy over it. Now Bond. Bond wrapped up.
Having mentioned that, I think we've seen 3 ruck contests, and Gale's got his hand to all of them. But I think it proves again that you need a ground-level player to take it away. It's a very much a two-way street. It doesn't help you much if your ruck needs hands to the ball if you don't get it at ground level.
The North's blanketing here has been magnificent. Once again, Gale flips it over the back. Laidley gets the first hand pass to Fairley. McKernan is there. Spoiled by Charles. Well done, Carey. He's hand passed a lot, but he hasn't kicked it too often. Through Roberts to McKernan. Kick by McKernan to half forward. Crocker does the spoiling. Turner at the back. He's caught by Freeborn. Umpire says, ball held to him. Give it to me, I'll ball it up.
And I think Bond's gone on to Rock during this quarter too in response to Rock's exceptional first half.
North Melbourne lead by 22 points. Campbell loses it, taken by Burke. Puts it in front for Gale. Fairley did well, caused the spoil. Then the crumb, and a wonderfully weighted kick down to Carey. That's his first mark for the game. So Callaway's done a great job. Pumps the ball back, deep inside 50. Big pack of players. Danilchenko gives it off to Crocker, and he boots goal number 4.
Well, so far, you don't need a ruckman to get a hand to the ball, and you don't need a centre half forward to be getting a kick.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been a fairly even 5 or 6 minutes. Even Richmond have spent a bit of time in their forward line, but given that North Melbourne had the half-time lead, that first goal is very important. It now puts them 28 points clear, which is a very good lead.
Charles took the centre bounce and won the hit out over McKernan. So Richmond ruckman getting hands to the ball, but North Melbourne little blokes are getting it after that. Rock steers the pass to Crocker. Oh, another good mark. And Darren Crocker has kicked 4, easily his best haul for the season. And looks as though there's more to come.
He's a very good kick of the ball, Anthony Rock. Really weights the kick well to his leading teammates.
Rock, 18 disposals for the game. Cut them to pieces. And Crocker going for his 5th goal. Right goal post. He's missed to the right-hand side. And he's kicked 4 goals too. What a great welcome return for North. And he must be pleased himself.
Well, it's his 3rd game for the year, and he's kicked 3 goals for the season coming into this game. But he is a class player. Campbell kicks short to Turner. He kicks it straight over the line on the full. We talk a lot about kicking the ball in, Lee, but there's a lot of mistakes. Players kicking the ball in from behinds. Very
nerve-wracking position, I think, when you got the ball in that part of the ground, and sometimes, yeah, players are making a lot of mistakes, don't they?
So Rock on 50. Scott. Ball ricochets back to Crocker. Kicks a high ball into the pocket. And over the top, Stanilchenko. Well, he started the game on the interchange bench. It's the second really good grab he's taken today. Took one in the first quarter.
Been around the league scene, for a few years now, but today he's done some really good things, shown plenty of life and leap as in that particular mark.
Well, a natural left footer. The angle should suit, and he's kicked it. So it's interesting that the 3 guys that have come in, Lee, McKernan, Crocker and Stanilchenko, have all been pretty good players.
Yes, kicked a fair percentage of the North Melbourne score, haven't they? Yes, no, it was a very good mark. I mean, just a high floating ball. It was a matter who could judge it best. And Jamie Tape, he's no slouch in the air either, but Stanilchenko was able to judge it better. Very good leap, very good hands.
Back in the middle, and the goal to North into the breeze in this 3rd quarter. Charles knocks it out. Scholl's been a good player for North. Hand pass to Laidley. Inside 50, in the direction of Carey, but he doesn't climb for the mark. And Tawney comes up from the pocket to take it for the Tigers. Off to Burke. Short pass, Rogers, still at half-back flank. Short of half-forward, Mick Martin. Well, here he is, 65 metres up from goal, and enjoying it by the looks. To Bell. Well, Tawney could have lined him up, showed some compassion. The kick by Bell. No great distance. Scott can't take the mark. Through to Stanilchenko. Floats the hand pass to Carey. He's run down by Michael Gale. Still going North's way. Scholl. Good tackle by Kellaway, who left Carey and covered 2 of them then to force a ball up.
I think the crowd is still living in the free kick interpretation of 3 weeks ago as well. They're calling for free kicks and they're not going to get them now.
McKernan wins the tap. Campbell overruns the ball. Rogers tapped it on, taken by Scott. Quick snap. Minor score. We see young Ross Funk going off, and coming on is Harrison for the Tigers. Played a couple of games with Carlton. Harrison. Turner kicks long. Charles is his target. McKernan in front. Burke robes it well, can feed it off to Gale. Also started on the interchange. Gives it across to Kellaway. Then the Tigers' best defender. Charles loses it. Stevens caught by Charles. Great play by the big man. He's forced the ball up.
They're hard at it, North, aren't they? They don't let Richmond get one easy possession or 1 inch clear if they can help it.
Richmond haven't scored in this quarter in over 11 minutes. Another ball up. Getting pretty dark here at the MCG. Last Sunday I was here and it was dark and it rained and they had the lights on at quarter time, KB. That was a good reunion for the Richmond people last week. Richmond's last score, 24.5 minutes, 2nd quarter. So it's been a bit of a drought. They have a breeze, but they're not doing anything with it. Daffy's been strangely quiet. He's kicked high to half forward. Good mark to Ian Fairley, the veteran, the oldest player on their list. Back to Laidley, across the ground to Mick Martin. Well, he's galloping up the ground like a 2-year-old, Mick. He did actually once lead the goal kickers in the under-19s when he was playing at the other end of the ground.
So he's He's a great player. Mighty Mick plays at both ends of the ground. Campbell takes it over the line. Campbell's 9 kicks, 1 mark, 4 handballs. Rock's been the star with 19 possessions for North Melbourne. Bell pounced on it. Back to McKernan. He's been hard to beat all day. Can't trap it. Freeborn tried to flick it to him. Comes back to Bell, to McKernan. Couldn't take it. Gets his kick in. Crocker is booted 4. Back to Tate. We've got a ball up 20 metres out from North Melbourne's goal.
North Melbourne have won that initiative with McKernan. Charles is now going everywhere with McKernan, and basically Gasper and Roberts are the round-the-ground followers.
74 plays 38. Carey, quick snap. Would have been a miracle goal to point.
Well, he's their leading goal kicker for the year with 24, but that's his first score today, a behind.
The North Melbourne players with the hands in the air trying to give the zones, giving the illusion of more space for the fullback, or to impair his vision anyway.
Plenty of distance in the kick by Turner. Gets to the back of the pack. Laidley for North just forward of the wing. 20-metre hand pass. Bounces up for Danilchenko. A high ball to the 50. Leapers needed. Tawney's done that. And he's played courageously and done that a few times today. The hand pass off to Campbell. His kick over the centre circle. Martin. It comes to ground. Gasper. Gasper applies a tackle. Roberts for North across the ground. Michael Gale a chance. With Scholl. Craig Scholl, brilliant. Open forward line. He thumps it long. Freeborn at the back. Carey in front. They crash to ground. Crocker playing the role of rover. Back to the goal square. Carey! The king. You can't keep him out forever.
This is just what we know Carey will do. It's a high floating ball in the air. It didn't come a long way, but he's the one who kept his eyes on the ball. And basically, he goes at those marking contests as if he's the only bloke who really wants to mark it, as if the other guys are just looking.
Hadn't taken a mark in the game until about 4 minutes ago. Now he's got his second and lining up for his first goal. Right in front, 15 metres out. He's got it. Prior to the game, the bookmakers couldn't split them. They were 5-4 on each of 2. Would you like to be on North now?
Well, yes. I mean, it's going to make a gigantic effort by Richmond to get back. And Craig Scholl been a very good player. It was a great shepherd by North Melbourne teammate Peter Bell, I think it was. And eventually, Carey's taken the mark on the goal square. But really, 5 goals, 13. It's a gigantic lead.
Well, North Melbourne trailed by 2 points at quarter time. They led by 20 points at half time. They now lead by 43 points. Corey McKernan on screen has been an outstanding player. Crocker's booted 4 goals at full forward, and Archer has done the job on Matthew Richardson. McKernan crashing his way through is Broderick. Taken away by King of North Melbourne. Thumps the ball back inside 50. Tawney attacked the ball. Well done, son. Kept his eyes on it. Just can't take control. Danilchenko jumped on by Callaway. Ball up on 50.
It'll give you great confidence. If you've got confidence in your marking forwards, the McKernans and the Careys, the North players will just, under pressure, they'll just kick the ball in long and high, and they don't make many midfield turnovers accordingly.
They've all been clean bowled except Callaway. And his hurried kick trickles over the line. So Duncan Callaway, third in the Tigers' best and fairest in 94. Big job today on Wayne Carey. He's done it well, but Carey's just kicked a goal. Blakey, most experienced player on the North side with games, 207. Gets it ball back. Blakey, front of the square. McKernan's got the set. Well, he kicked the goal in the first quarter. had 9 kicks. That's his 8th mark. And Lee, you kicked well over 900 goals in league football. What advice have you got for him?
Kick it straight. Straight over the goal umpire's head.
He heard you, did he?
I think he did.
He wasn't listening.
I think maybe he rushed it a fraction if one wants to be really technical.
Well, North have had 44 more kicks and 21 more hand passes, so that's 65 more possessions than Richmond, who are very disappointing. And Campbell is one of their stars who's been very, well, reasonably quiet. 14 possessions for Wayne Campbell, and that's not the output of last year. But Bond has only had 4. There are others who are way down. Broderick, 9. He had about 30 last week. Daffy, 5. Here's Nick Daffy. Cannot get boot the ball. Gale. Left footer by Gale. Blakey. Forcing it forward is King. Great run through a heavy pack. Big pack. But the hand pass off target for Bell, and it's out of bounds near the 50.
Yes, Anthony Stevens has done an excellent tagging job on Paul Broderick. Stevens hasn't got a lot of the ball himself, but he's cut out one of Richmond's sort of essential prime movers.
Another one is Miranda. 5 possessions today. He's had such a fine season. Here's David King again to full forward. 3 against 3. It gets to the back. Danilchenko offline. 1 goal, 1 for Danilchenko. He's playing his 16th game in the seniors in 4 seasons, so he's had to be patient.
It's disappointing when a youngster trying to make his mark in the game misses an easy goal, because he's already kicked one in this term, and a couple of goals next to your name can do your confidence the world of good. So Turner just stumps it back. Wouldn't do that in the direction of McKernan because he's a star. Ball ricochets back off King. Kicks it off the ground to Miranda, who's booted 2 goals for the Tigers. Thumped forward by Mighty Mick. Ball comes back to Gale. Benny Gale puts it out in front, looking for Richardson. He's kicked 1 goal. Broderick's got it. Should pass it off here to Michael Gale. Bang!
Well, that's the Tigers' first goal in this 3rd quarter. It took 19 minutes, and it was the same story in the 2nd quarter.
Didn't they need it? I often wonder when players are running into open goals, don't they get very close to the goal line? One day a player's going to run over the goal line and the umpire's just going to call it touch through. Have a look at this. You know, I suppose he's a step before the goal line, but players really cut that margin very finely sometimes, I think.
Whistle in the middle, and Richmond had too many in the centre square. Free kick to McKernan. Wobbles it up towards half forward. Carey, bit more confidence. Off hands to Roberts. Goal coming up. So easy. Well, if Carey's not actually getting it, he's busting up the packs for others.
I think Carey really attacked the ball in the air then. That's one of those things. As good as he's been playing this year anyway, I just don't think he's really just launched himself at the ball in the air. He didn't worry about Callaway at all, launched himself at the marking contest. Ball happened to fall into Roberts' hands, but I think that kind of aggression at that ball floating in the air and ignoring his opponent, I think that's one of those things that Carey maybe should be doing a little more.
2 goals to Mark Roberts, 29 scoring shots to 9. North Melbourne well on top, just gives it off to Simpson. North Melbourne still inside the centre square. At ground level, Daffy can't trap it. Taken by Anderson, kicks it straight up in the air. The ball's been brought back. And Daffy takes the free kick. Looking for Charles. He's taken on all the North big men today. Kicks one deep into the forward line. Archer got a hand to it. Good support by Fairley. And then takes it over the line. So 89 plays 45, and the 5 minutes to go in this 3rd term. And King to bring North Melbourne back into play.
Short to Blakey. 4.5 minutes left. Junkyard Dog up towards centre wing. Carey again making a contest of it. At ground level, down goes Henderson. Real scrap. Well, the Tigers need some open play and they need some goals on the board. But North's record this year, they've only lost 2 games. One was to Brisbane, no disgrace, at the Gabba, the competition leaders, and one was last week to the Eagles. So to lose to the Eagles in Perth, no disgrace either. McKernan into Anderson. On the run. Oh, he should have kicked the goal. Hooked it.
It's amazing when you get the goal-kicking yips, it seems to spread through the whole side. It's like almost a psychology. And North today have just dominated the whole game. But 12-18, 30 scoring shots to 10.
So Scotty Turner giving the signal there for some set play. So he's going to kick it straight up to the Benny Gale on the edge of the centre square, punched away by Fairley, but he's gone into the back of Gale.
Good set play that. If Gale didn't mark it, there was 4 North Melbourne players at the fall of the ball. I'm not sure about that.
I'm not quite certain how it was supposed to work. Campbell's got it in the centre of the ground.
Must have known the umpire was going to give him a free kick, I think. That's what...
And they caught one high there. Won't stop him talking on into footy. Kicks the ball down, looking for Richardson. Couldn't take a slips catch. Broderick flipped it out, taken by Blakey. Gale, hands and knees, feeds it back off to Broderick. High ball, Richardson's the flyer. Rogers, the crummer. He's kicked a goal.
Really, those small forwards of Richmond just haven't been able to get amongst it today. But that's the kind of goal that Rogers and Nash and Miranda are all capable of kicking, but haven't been too forthcoming today. And really, it's what a 4-goal, 6-15 margin, but a good goal to Rogers.
Three minutes remaining in the third quarter. McKernan wins in the middle. The goal scorer, Rogers, taken off the ball. Anderson fires out the hand pass to Scholl. Scholl long to full forward. Crocker! Geez, played well. Lining up for his 5th goal, Darren Crocker.
Yes, he's given a good target, hasn't he? So he's about to kick his 5th goal. Scott Turner's no slouch as a fullback. Very pleasing.
2nd for the quarter and 5th for the game for Darren Crocker. He's kicked 5 goals, 2. And North approaching a century, 13-18 to 8-3.
Simply, Darren Crocker hasn't been able to string more than a month together of football almost his entire career. He plays okay, then he'll get injured and miss a week or 2. But he's a very capable player and again, good body use, good judgment of the ball, controlled it with one hand and then took possession with both second attempt.
North Melbourne by 45 points. McKernan starting to thump the ball. Broderick, quick kick for the Tigers. Daffy hits a kind bounce. Comes back to Bond. To Rogers. It's a great kick, Nash. Nash kicked a goal in the first quarter. Hasn't had a lot of the ball. Just coming up for his 4th kick. Should kick the Tigers' 9th goal.
Well, there's the brains trust for the Tigers. Premiership coach Tony Jewell, Kevin Morris and Robert Walls. Fancy Robert Walls being in the hierarchy for Richmond. In your days as a Richmond player, you'd have hated Robert Walls when he was a Carlton man.
Enemy number 1.
Kicked the ball long into the forward line, really. It just, the North defence didn't have a chance to get balance. So Nash was the one pushing back. A couple of positional moves for Richmond. Harrison to full back, Turner to full forward, and Richardson out to centre half forward.
Turner moved away from Crocker after Crocker got his 5th goal. Harrison, his new opponent. Rock gets it going forward. McKernan. Campbell fires out the hand pass to Miranda. Kick by Miranda. Just under 2 minutes to 3/4 time. Fairly dispossessed by Charles. Well done by Charles, but he couldn't keep it in. And a throw in down towards half forward for the Tigers. 39-point lead to North. I suppose another couple of goals here before the last change might help, but they've been outscored, even though they're going with the breeze in this quarter, Richmond. It's been 5-8 to 3-1. Naish gets the hand pass up. On the bounce, Richardson. 45 metres out. Now it's outside 50 with Rogers. Rogers on the turn. Turner's now a forward. Oh, Naish, a good leap. Couldn't take the mark. Robert Scott for North, straight up the ground.
So North Melbourne out of defence. Kick was a poor one, went to tape, gave it across to Broderick. Shrugged off the tackle. Michael Gale, outside 50. Naish is the target.
The Scott kick out of defence, wasn't it? It was an unpressured kick, but he missed the target in Anderson, and quick rebound back out of midfield. Then Naish was able to find the space.
So Chris Naish, it's a poor kick. It's out of bounds on the full.
Chris Bond was a hero last week. He's been taken off here today and replaced by Funk.
So Martin kicks the ball long out of defence. North Melbourne have been good midfield. Had plenty of hard workers. Rogers ran into trouble. Danilchenko dumps him. Freeborn. He's quick. Runs to 50. Quick turnover for North Melbourne. Results in just that 1 point.
And there's Rock. Well, he's probably got leather poisoning. They're working on him. He's had 20 possessions. Had a magnificent game, especially in the first half. Here's Ben Harrison kicking in. Former Carlton player. Punch forward for North, overrun by Tate. Michael Gale back to Tawney. You're in heaps of bother, son. Grabbed by Bell, slips the tackle. Peter Bell for goal. Good goal. Right on the siren for three-quarter time. Bell's second, and another magnificent quarter for the Kangaroos.
He's been a handy little player, Peter Bell. Got in the bottom of the loose ball, but again, it was a result of the excellent tackling in their forward line, all over the ground, really. North been hard at the ball, hard at the Richmond player if they've got first hands on the ball, and created a lot of those kind of turnovers.
So in that quarter, it was 6 goals to 3, and North did that while going into the breeze. And there's Dennis Pagan with Mark Dawson. We heard Mark Dawson at half-time talking about mergers. But at the moment, he's in charge of a pretty good-looking football outfit, and a few troubles and a furrowed brow for Robert Walls as he comes out to address his troops. At three-quarter time, North 14-19-103 to Richmond 9-3-57.
So North Melbourne start this last term with a 46-point lead. Scott gets the ball off. Rock. Short time on the boundary line. He's been a great player today for North Melbourne. Comes back to King, the pride of Port Melbourne. Kicks back towards centre-half forward. Anderson caught. Callaway. He's done a great job on Wayne Carey today. Kicks the ball back. Fairly the punch from behind. Kicked off the ground by Naish. Chance for the Tigers. Richardson, can he run onto the ball? Taken by Turner. Took his run. King over the top of the ball. Charles has him in a headlock. And we've got a baller. So North Melbourne lead by 46 points. Darren Crocker's booted 5 goals at full forward. Martin, long hand pass, goes to Richardson, gives it off quickly to nobody. Archer's been his opponent all day and he's caught, but too high.
Glenn Archer. Just 7 possessions, not much of the footy, but the main thing is his opponent hasn't had it much. Over the goal square to Laidley. And attacking down the southern stand side to Rock, who was treated in the third quarter, but he's back now. To Laidley. A left footer over the wing, Danilchenko. With him is Burke. Well done, Jason Danilchenko. Well done, McKernan, to thump the ball on 20 metres. Carey dishes off to Roberts. Roberts gets it going North's way. A further tap to Bell. Bell back. Oh, this is great play. Stevens kicks the goal. 2 for Anthony Stevens, but how many North players touched the ball in that rush?
Well, you don't have to take possession of the ball to give a constructive disposal. I mean, it might go down the stat sheet knock-ons, but here we see really a good knock-on by, well, McKernan started even progress to what we saw here, and then eventually Roberts was able to keep the ball moving, and the flow of North Melbourne players pushing forward finished with Stevens, and he's converted.
So 2 goals to Anthony Stevens. Corey McKernan in the ruck. He's been an outstanding player. Goes to Gaspar. To Bond. Quiet day. Kicks the ball back towards the half-forward line. Richardson's the target. Archer's been very good on him all day. It looked a bit of a mismatch at the start of the game. But in fact, Dennis Pagan has picked his mark well.
I think sometimes Matthew Richardson wins or beats himself. I think sometimes he's just not on today, I wouldn't have thought. His ball handling just hasn't been quite there, apart from Archer's work in defence.
So Campbell going in very hard.
By that I mean Richardson, you get the outside look, he's something of a worrier. When he's struggling a little bit, he even sort of digs himself even bigger hole. Point anyway, who knows?
Charles has worked hard for the Tigers. Campbell, you can see him on inter footy. You can see him here at the MCG as well. The bad bounce was kicked off the ground by Archer. Blakey. He's got support from King. Back to Blakey. Can go over the top to Archer. Lex to kick long. It's a poor decision. Sets up Gale.
Brendan Gale at halfback. Oh, half volley to Kellaway. Gale will have to take it back. Long hand pass. Daffy. Strangely quiet. Their leading goal kicker last year. To half forward. Naish at the back. Hand passes into Bond. He kicked a couple down here last week. At last he's going to get one today. Chris Bond gets it. But the Tigers have seen too little of it today, and they trail 63 to 109.
I think you mentioned Nick Daffy, who's such an important player for Richmond, but John Blakey, another scalp under his belt of defensive play. And Chris Bond has been amongst the goals for Richmond a little bit of the year, but not so much today, but was able to get the ball on the fly then and made a certainty of it by closing in, kicking from close in.
Bond's 13th goal for the season. McKernan, quick kick out of the centre, and Carey's marked it. He's only kicked the 1 goal today, puts it out in front, looking for Crocker. Picked up by Scott. Bang, kicks a goal. Scott's first goal for the match.
Well, yes, I mean, Carey out-bodied Kellaway. Hasn't done it much today, but was able to do it. And North Melbourne really flow very hard into their forward line. And when the ball comes off hands, there's always a fair chance a North player will run onto it. Who's Scott's main job today has been defensively on Campbell.
3 goals in the opening 5 minutes of the last quarter. Gaspar loses control of it. Anderson gets it up to Scott for another one. Off the left here. Harrison gets back and takes an excellent mark. Ben Harrison, ex-Tasmanian, shares a house with Matty Richardson and also Brad Pearce, the Carlton star. Imagine that household. Strike me lucky. They'd never be at home. The kick up towards half forward. Of course they were dedicated to football. Ball at ground level, and that'll be a baller. Cheerio to their mums over in Tassie. Nothing to worry about.
115 plays, 63. Charles takes it out of the air with one hand, kicked off the ground by Blakey. Back to Gale, caught him by surprise. Ball up inside the centre square.
Just about need our miners' helmets. They haven't turned the lights on. It's very dark out there, isn't it?
It's as though they've made enough money this year. Strike me. made an absolute squillion at the MCG.
Gale thumps the ball 25 metres. A chance now for the Tigers. Good play by King. Forces the ball back to the half-back line. Gale pushed over the line by Scholl. Started the game on an interchange bench today, Michael Gale. His brother Benny's kicked the goal, acting captain for the Tigers. Here he is in ruck against Roberts. A free kick is going to Big Benny.
Why wasn't that advantage?
So he pops it up. And it's been marked by Charles. Tried very hard today, Justin Charles.
I agree with you. He always gives maximum effort, and at the moment, Benny Gale's in the ruck for Richmond, and Charles is playing out of the forward line. And he just really tries hard. I mean, he hasn't sort of dominated the game or anything, but he's at least he makes a contest every time he's near the ball.
Played 61 games in his career. Just kicked the 36 goals. 25 years of age. Missed 1994, playing baseball in America. Has taken over the job as the Tigers' top big man. So 25 metres out, he's gone back a long way. And kicks a goal.
Well, Richmond, I mean, they really, it's playing the game out now, I would think, for a percentage for the longer-term goals. But certainly it was a good, solid mark by Charles. High floating ball, and he just read it better, looped into the ball, and got the two hands on the ball and was able to mark it and then kick accurately from fairly much point-blank range.
Kernan clean possession against a charging Gale. Big lead by Burke. Here's Scholl for North, overruns. Rock. Bond goes off the ground and gains 30 metres for the side up towards centre wing. Chris Bond, 9 possessions today. North by 46 points. And here's Gale to do battle with McKernan. Kick by Anderson is smothered. It comes back to him. Stevens thrown off the ball. Anderson a paddle. Broderick, little hand pass underground. Daffy back to Gale. Actually being caught high by Scott. Play on rules the umpire. Off the ground, Stevens, luckily for McKernan. Long kick from a standing start. Crocker works to the front. Danilchenko paddles on and goes again. Ball up.
"13 minutes to go in this final term. North 16-19, 115. The Tigers 11-3, 69. Gale to Campbell. Bell does well. Back to Stevens. Gives it across to Anderson. Into the pocket. Crocker's there. Through for 1 point. So North today brought in McKernan, Crocker and Danilchenko. They've all been very, very good players. Crocker's booted 5. McKernan's been a star with 8 marks. He's kicked a goal. Callaway's had the job all day on Carey. It's been intercepted by Blakey. He's got the numbers. Carey, support. Scholl pumps the ball back. Miranda couldn't take it for Richmond. It's forced over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Tough man to get a kick on John Blake. He's had 20-odd possessions and kicked Nick Daffy to about 8 or 9, so it's been a very good job.
Roberts against Gale. A lot of players around this. Gale at the second attempt. Broderick to Michael Gale, who slips over. Back to Broderick, round the boundary line. McKernan, great athleticism, thumps it to centre half forward. Carey made the extra steps, really stretched the hammies. Good mark.
of North that just kicking the ball, don't muck around with it, kick it long and hard into that forward 50 and give your marking players at least a chance. And I think that knowledge, the North Melbourne players are ready for the North teammate up the field to kick the ball long from midfield, and they therefore are more able to move first before the defenders.
Carey for his second goal. Beautiful kick. Perfect. It's a romp, 16-20 to 17-20 to 11-3.
Well, Callaway's done an exceptionally good job on Carey, but Carey still had 14-odd possessions, kicked a couple of goals, so he's certainly been a useful player for North Melbourne, and good long kick. He's always a chance of kicking the ball long and straight from 50 metres, and that's what he did on that occasion.
North by 53 points. They led by 46 points at three-quarter time. Anderson can give it off to Scholl. He's got support also from Stevens. Kicks the ball back. Carey's going to be the target once more. He's up high. Ground level was Danilchenko. Rogers pops it down in front of Charles. Going to be a collision nearly there with Fairley. Richardson has had a bad day. Archer's had a great day. Kicks back to Carey. Callaway. Carey tries to juggle it. Smothered from Burke. Callaway on hands and knees. Back to Bond. Let's fly with a big bomb. Back to centre half forward. The flyer was Richardson. Miranda couldn't take the crumb. Archer, desperate. Out to Fairley. Gets support there also from King. So the Williamstown postie comes away. Kicks it up to the half forward line. McKernan went to ground. Danilchenko paddles along, got the bounce he wanted, and finds Crocker. He'll kick his sixth goal. Great play, North. Now it's been touched. Wow. Well, I'm surprised. So's Crocker. What do you think, Lee?
Well, I'm pretty sure it was touched, because most of the time the touch don't even get paid, so I think it definitely was touched.
I'd already given him a goal. It's on the 50 for North again. It's not over yet for the Tigers. Good hand pass. Anderson to Stevens. He gets another one. Second in this final quarter. Third for the game for Anthony Stevens. And that is a 10-goal lead now for North.
Well, once the game's been won, as we said, Anthony Stevens has been playing the defensive role on Paul Broderick, but as North have got control of the game, and really it's a matter of how far they win by, he's been very aggressive, and he's now running into the forward 50, and he's done a couple of overlaps and been able to get the couple of goals in this last quarter.
McKernan just takes it out of the air. Quick kick. Richmond defence under a lot of pressure now, but it's being brought back.
We've seen Jason Charles has been in pretty good form in recent weeks, but in the centre bounce ruck work, I think Corey McKernan has just dominated that today. And not only the knockouts, but the ability to be able to take the ball out of the air on a fair few occasions. And he would have cleared the centre square 3 or 4 or 5 times himself, I would have thought, McKernan. Just getting the ball and kicking it forward.
He's had 19 possessions and he's taken 8 marks. Danilchenko from behind. Capuano, Bell takes it. Caught by Gaspar. Flipped out by Capuano to Stevens. Chance for Laidley. He's on 50. So Roberts is at the back of the pack. Harrison. It's been taken away by Scott, and he's kicked the goal. That's his second goal this term. He's had a big job playing on Wayne Campbell.
It's almost an expectation. North just finished the game stronger than almost any team in the competition. They always run the last quarters out strong. And again, Scott's had the tagging role on Campbell. He's pushing forward now as this game's been won, and he's getting in the goal-scoring action as well.
Back in the middle, and still some torture to go for the Tigers, you'd reckon. 9.5 minutes left. High tackle in the middle, and Peter Bell will take a free kick. Away to Blakey. Plenty of distance, well inside half forward. Ball comes to ground. Callaway. Rogers. Kick to centre half forward. misses the target, so he's saying to his teammates, run onto that and try your luck. Wigney's back on, hasn't had a touch. Naish, left foot. Across the face. Or is it? That's a goal. 3 goals to Chris Naish.
He obviously came back with the bruise. Most of the goals scoring to this left of end, the ball's been pushing from right to left, and that was probably an example. The ball looked like it was heading for the points, but it's been there must be a bit of a wind in that pocket there. Just dragged it back inside the post. Just for a bit of respect, a little bit more percentage for Richmond now.
Capuano in the ruck against Charles. He's had to take them all on today. Justin Charles, Bond, just trying to crash his way through. Set out to Broderick, to Michael Gale. It's all North Melbourne across half back. Scholl can clean up. Kicks the ball back. Prescott from behind. Had the set. Can drive deep into the forward line. Turner's an option. Mick Martin attacked the ball. Stevens, quick kick back to the half-forward line. I think Callaway's been great, Lee, considering the amount of play that North's had on their forward line. And Wigney spent most of the game on the interchange bench, as marked on centre wing.
First mark, first kick. And here's Harrison. A left footer to the 50. Naish. Kicked his third just a short time ago. But this is the first belting the Tigers have had this year. Their losses have been by 18, 1 point and 3 points. And the kick by Naish stays left. 4 behind. And he's kicked 3 goals, 2 today. So at the moment the margin is 59 points, easily the biggest defeat for the Tigers for the year. I suppose you're entitled to an odd one. But I think North worry them a bit. This will be 10 wins out of their last 12 contests. Half back for North. It spills to Daffy. Come on, Nick. The duck goes for goal and has kicked a good one. His first score for the day.
Yes, and we mentioned a couple of times in the call that John Blakey has done the defensive job on Daffy, but one thing you know about Daffy, if he gets the ball coming through that 50-metre line, he knows how to score. He runs at the goal, good long accurate kick, and he's been able to keep it on line from that 50-metre area, which isn't easy to do.
They led the Tigers goal kicking last year with 45 goals. That's just his 12th goal this year, and his first today. Bond just pumps the ball back inside 50. Martin was in front, couldn't hang on to the mark.
Crowd today, KB. Nearly 50,000 at the MCG. 49,939. And that's after the crowd last night, which was 67.
Archer. It's a wild hand pass. Tapped on there's Bond, couldn't take control. Archer does well. It's been very good on Matthew Richardson as King kicks the ball out wide. North 19-21, 40 scoring shots. That's 135 points to the Tigers, 13-4-82. Just under 7 minutes in this final term to go. McKernan, it's been great, gives it across to Blakey. Anderson kicks the ball back towards centre half forward. Carey just paddles it on to Roberts. Off hands. Minor score.
North had put Capuano in the ruck, I think, just to sort of give him a bit of a... He's been on interchange a fair bit with Richmond kicking those couple of goals. I think McKernan's back into the centre. This goes to show that every minute counts.
The coaches' boxes right next door to each other. One elated and one pretty sombre. Kellaway, the hand pass to Daffy. His kick to half forward. Miranda pulled off it when he didn't have it. Taken down by his opponent, Laidley. Free kick, Miranda. Lead by Wigney. Miranda goes for a big thump. Comes up 15 or 20 metres short. Fairly dives and takes the mark. Gee, they're playing on quickly at all costs. Armstrong hasn't seen much action. What a perfect kick. McKernan on centre wing. He goes long again. That is great football. Full back to full forward in a trice. Richmond have it, but maybe not for long. Campbell towards the line. Danilchenko putting him under pressure. The ball stays in for Bell. Gives the hand pass to Scott. Just about throws it away. Rogers, oh, great tackle. It comes to North again. Scott the hand pass to Roberts, and a goal for Roberts. Oh, it should have been. He missed it.
Well, they've been good in every aspect of the game, North, today, but their tackling, I think, has been fierce. I mean, again, I think it was Danilchenko over the other side. They just laid that really tough tackle. I think it was on Rogers to dispossess Richmond yet again.
He's had 17 possessions, Danilchenko.
I think it's probably the best game I've seen him play, I would think.
Campbell kicks the ball long, looking for Charles, but McKernan's just been sensational today. He's a great player.
Could he be the first bloke to win the Brownlow on votes and not be awarded?
Well, no one's ever won the medal that's been suspended.
Well, I think he's the most valuable player in league football.
Yeah.
I just think he's sensational. He's two players in one. He's a dominating ruckman and a dominating forward in the same body. I mean, he's fantastic.
Well, it'll be embarrassing on the night if he wins by 6 or 8 votes and they take it off him.
Well, Gary Hocking and Darren Jarman have polled very high in the middle after being suspended, but no one's won it yet. So Bond picking up some possessions in this last term. Miranda, he kicked a couple of goals. It's a long raking hand pass to Prescott, can feed it off to Daffy. He's got support from Rogers. So in rugby style, the Tigers carry the ball to 50. So Rogers with a long bomb. This is right in the goal square. Off hands, and Mick just takes it over the line.
All that effort for a rush behind. 4.5 minutes remaining at the MCG. 54-point lead to the Kangaroos. So whatever talk has been going on all week about mergers, it hasn't taken the players' minds off the game. They've been great. Freeborn. Short of centre wing. Daffy the spoil, but it came back to Stevens. Carey juggles it, not quite all the way down, no mark paid. Comes to Campbell. It was nearly Wayne Carey, finished up being Wayne Campbell. Across to Michael Gale. To Richardson, well up the ground. Well, his nemesis has been Archer. Archer leaves one and goes to the other to help out Laidley. Great footy. Danilchenko again forward of the wing. The mark, the quick hand pass to Scott. Scott to centre half forward. Roberts. Perfect football once again by North. Bell unmarked in the forward pocket. Here goes Peter Bell. He thought of playing on for a split second and thought, I think I'll help myself to a goal. He's kicked 2. And after 2 games only for the Dockers in their first season, injury spoiled his year. He came to North and has played every game. Not bad to get a game in this North team, and he's kicked 3 goals.
Yes, you're right. Bell has been a pretty good player today, although really he's played in the part of the ground where the ball's been. That's North's forward line. Gee, there's been a lot of time down there, and really it's a matter of queuing up in the North forward line. Bell pushed in, who his opponent got caught up the ground. I think it was Tawney, wasn't out of position, and he's converted again just to make it another 6 points further ahead for North.
Justin Charles has been holding his wrist. Let's hope for the Tigers that it's nothing too serious. Chance for Danilchenko to Anderson. North Melbourne just keep forcing the ball forward. Gaspar did well. Finds Bond. Picking up possessions in this last quarter to Wigney. The kick was a poor one. Fairley. Hands and knees. His 201st game today. Tate spent a lot of time on the interchange bench. Unusual for him. Such a good player. Back to Burke. Inside 50 to Miranda, plays for it and gets it. So he kicked 2 goals, 1 in the first quarter, 1 in the second quarter, and there's Justin Charles. You see the Richmond doctor looking at his hand. Let's hope that maybe it's only bruised or sprained. He's been such an important player for the Tigers this year. Mark Merenda. Been averaging 24 possessions a game. Comes in for goal number 3. And he's kicked it.
Well, they've accumulated 14 goals, Richmond. That's the kind of thing you... bit of action off the ball.
Down on the boundary line, Dipper. What about Justin Charles?
Yeah, the doctors have assured me that his wrist is okay. They've just iced it up and taped it up at the same time.
It's still going on after Merenda kicked that goal, but the umpire did the right thing and balled it up in the middle. McKernan gets it back to Blakey. Carey at half forward. If he doesn't get it, a teammate usually does. And the umpire this time will ball it up. Kellaway's done well, but he's been paddling upstream today. Carey with a big leap. Armstrong keen to get in the act. Well done, Kellaway. It wasn't Carey he beat that time, but he got underneath Danilchenko. Under 2 minutes left in the game. 54-point lead to North. McKernan goes goalwards. Campbell crumbs to Anderson. Hand pass through the pack. Back flip by the Tigers. And eventually they're out of trouble through Kellaway. Bounces on the cricket pitch area. Look at the hands of this man. King Carey. Hardly saw it in the first half. He's come good. Blakey back to full forward. Harrison.
So Ben Harrison for Richmond. Kicks long. Looking for tape. He's got 2 to beat. Martin couldn't take control. Anderson's in there for North Melbourne. So King has been a pretty good player for the Kangaroos today. Wigney beats Daffy over the line. So under a minute to go in this final quarter. North Melbourne 20 goals, 23, 143. Richmond 14, 5, 89. It's going to be a big win. Scott kicks back to Carey. Kellaway hasn't given up all day. Gaspar been beaten by Roberts. To Scholl, back to Scott. Armstrong, it's going to bounce. 1 point.
A lot of the game on the bench, Matty Armstrong, just 5 possessions. 55 points the margin. Tawny's kick in. And Rogers. Another game will be at the MCG tomorrow. Footscray and Essendon. So the big stadium is certainly the place to be. Huge crowds every time they play. Wigney, the hand pass back to Bond. Kicked by Bond inside the 50. Funk. Ross Funk, drafted in '94 from the Ballarat Rebels, the under-18s, came from Minyip. There's the siren. The Kangaroos have won it. But Funk, just new to the game, will have a kick for goal after the siren. He's playing in his 3rd AFL game, kicking from 50. Good kick too. Pretty close. A metre short. So no addition to the score. Not much for the Tigers to enthuse about here today. They've been belted by a very good team. And I think the bookies might be shortening the odds on the Kangaroos for flag time. North Melbourne today, 20-24 to 14-5.